Hey folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. For those of you that are not familiar, I tend to do these little videos once in a while. I'm kind of a amateur eBay tradesman. I see certain things that I like and I might purchase them, and then I put other things that I'm looking to sell on eBay. So you can look for my stuff on eBay if you care to. But this time I'm going to do a video of where I actually open things that I've ordered. Sometimes with all the busy things I'm doing in my life, writing books, publishing novels left and right, I don't always have time to open my packages as soon as they come in. Like I said, I'm busy writing my own books and so forth. But today we're going to open this package and a second one as well. Yes, nice hardcover book that I wrote, available on Amazon. Now let's check out. Nice cover art by my buddy Nazar Germanoff. Let's check out what's in book number one. Now you are welcome to comment and question during this process. I can tell that this envelope, I don't want to damage any of the good things that are inside of it. I know you enjoy watching the cutting of the envelope. It's very exciting. Nice. Okay, so this individual, Brown was his name, from Dufresne, MB. I guess it's a country, Manitoba, perhaps, in Canada. What does MB stand for? He's got this nice green tape. It's kind of protecting everything with some type of cheddar cheese advertisement. I don't know. Do you ever say advertisement or advertisement? I've always enjoyed saying advertisement, but I know some individuals say advertisement. Advertisement sounds a little more mature, but I tend to go with the advertisement. Okay, it looks like the green tape has given way. And we're down to the final countdown here, so let's see what happens. Very exciting. So what this appears to be, I do remember ordering this now. He's not dead, folks, no matter what the NBA commentators say. Mark Messier, some playing cards of the great one, Mark Messier. As you know, Mark Messier won a Stanley Cup without Wayne Gretzky, but Wayne Gretzky never won a Stanley Cup without Mark Messier. These are some of the more obscure. Hey, what's up, my buddy? The Soy Montana is back. He was in on some videos last week, some interaction. Good to see you, pal. So this is an unpacking video, an opening. Like I said, I'm kind of an eBay tradesman, a not a pro, but an amateur eBay tradesman. Sometimes I buy things on there. It's a nice Mark Messier card. Ooh, looks like, well, it's one card. Is that two cards in the same thing? Looks like there's actually two cards in here. There's two cards in the same little sleeve, so I'll have to separate those. Same thing in this one. You kind of put the two cards together. I guess I can let that slide. Domination. Let's see. Well, right now, I did watch the opening game last night, Shane McKenna, my good buddy from the Wrestling Fans Facebook group. Shane's a longtime supporter, actually came out here to Jacksonville. We went to an AEW show at Daly's Place. And, yeah, the Bulls, no offense, but I don't think the Bulls have gotten to the finals since the great Michael Jordan days. I almost said Magic Johnson. But Michael Jordan, 6 championships in 8 years. Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, all those guys. Luke Longley, Pat Riley. Not Pat Riley. Who's the coach? The Zen Master coach. You know what I'm talking about. The big tall guy. Who was the coach for all those championships? God, I'm drawing a blank. Was he the coach for all 6 or just the last 3? And then he went on to coach with Kobe and Shaq. I'm drawing a blank here, folks. My pop culture knowledge, I can visualize them. Well, this is going to be fun. Thanks, 802 with the save. Appreciate that. 802 Blues. I think could be a first-time commenter. Remember that 91 series, Magic versus Michael? Now this is going to be intense, guys. This is going to be really intense because I think I know what this one is. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm being really careful not to injure the item here at all. Because if this is what I think it is, this is going to be a very special reveal. Like, this is going to be epic. It might not be what I'm thinking, but it might. Okay, this is going to be very exciting. Let's see. Life is pretty good, David. The weather here has been kind of hot, humid. Okay, so it's actually not what I thought it was going to be. There was a different thing that I was looking to see, but this is good, and this is good too. This is actually great too. I'm not complaining. Trust me. I just a little surprised because this is the different one. Barry Windham's NWA mission: humiliate Ric Flair. Lance Von Erich battles the one-man gang. The match his cousins forced him to take. As we know, I'm glad to hear that, buddy. I've been kind of delinquent in getting some new material. Actually, I've outsourced my spot on the Monty and the Pharaoh show to a guest, and he's been a little delinquent. So I'm going to have a conversation with him about that. But I appreciate you, 802 Blues, and say hi to the guys. It was actually Mike Monty's birthday yesterday, so he's doing well as far as I know. I've been going through some nothing too tragic, guys, but just some things recently that have kind of affected me in somewhat of a negative way. So I'm trying to make some things about that, fix that stuff. Yeah, we're going to take a look at this, buddy. Now, what I was going to say is that people tend to think of Barry Windham in the Four Horsemen group, which is great. But there was a whole prehistory of Barry Windham and Ric Flair fighting each other. The Battle of the Belts 2, I believe, in Florida. Look at this mag. See, this is the David. You might remember this. Even the ads were fun. You know what I mean? Like the same scams are going on now that were going on back then. There was always like these, scams of how to make money in your spare time. Gino Hernandez here with a couple of belts. Sincerely yours. These were the letters from the fans. Gorgeous Gino Hernandez. I actually watched him wrestle Tonga John on a YouTube video last night on the road with Craig Peters. This brings back some good memories. This is an ad for a different copy of PWI, the year-end issue 85. I mean, Jesus. This is a lady that I liked. Oh, first of all, I used to have this game, by the way. The pro wrestling game, the Superstar Pro Wrestling game. I had that for years. Got to a master's level. Look at this. Official 1986 wrestling merchandise. And it's basically all AWA stuff. So how much were these shirts back then? $8. So, I mean, look at that. I don't know if they were making my size. At the time, they probably were, because I was probably a large or an extra large back then. But they had, yeah, okay. But, I mean, look at those. Can you imagine having some of those things? If you had those now, what they'd be worth? This lady I always liked, Sunshine. Bill Apter getting a smooch on Sunshine. Good for Bill. Eddie Elner, remember him? Noah Joe checking in. Hello, buddy. How you doing? Look, this was always my favorite. The roll call of champions. I would just sit there for minutes, if not a half hour or an hour, reading these rankings and like looking for the asterisks. No, actually, that was not that. You're thinking of Nancy Benoit or Nancy Sullivan or just Nancy, also known as Woman. She managed Doom to the WCW Tag Team Champions ship. She worked with Kevin Sullivan in their occult gimmick in Florida in the '84 era. But Nancy, she was never really featured on WWE TV. But yeah, she was killed. The story goes that she was killed by her husband, Chris Benoit. Great wrestling tragedy. As far as I know, Miss Sunshine's still alive. She was in world-class wrestling. She was a valet of gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. She was replaced by Sunshine 2, that was later rechristened Precious and actually married Jimmy Garvin in real life. This might be Sid Vicious as Lord Humongous. It might be a young Sid Vicious, but there's a couple of guys that played Humongous, so I'm not sure if that's Sid or somebody else. But yeah, Sunshine is not the same as Nancy Benoit. Two different women. Where are they now? It's funny because Mike Rotundo is listed in this thing. And Mike Rotundo was actually, I watched him yesterday on an episode of Florida Championship Wrestling, beating some guy. Interesting, this job guy lost to Rotundo on the show. And then about 10 minutes later, he lost an arm wrestling match to Superstar Billy Graham, same guy. Buddy Wolf, Vivian Vachon, pretty attractive. I think she's from that family. Was she the adopted mother of Luna Vachon or something like that? There was a situation. No, I think there was Mad Dog Vachon adopted Luna Vachon. But Vivian, I guess, would be an aunt. Now that Steve Regal, you might recall, was one half of the AWA Tag Team Champions with gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. A lot of Jimmy Garvin stuff going on here today. But Steve Regal had the tag team titles with gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, and they're talking about a 58-minute match where Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig beat Garvin and Regal. My phone, I thought I turned my phone off, but it's just bothering me. It's okay, buddy. Yeah, great. Glad to have you on board, buddy. Glad to have you. And I think when you say aboard, you mean you're paying the 99 cents a month for all that bonus footage. You can find on there the what was it? The Blood and Guts match with the original audio should be in there somewhere. The Suicide Girls, Burlesque, some of the more risque material, some of my more intense rants. Very exciting. Here we see all the British Bulldog stuff. That Dynamite Kid was just pretty ripped. I mean, you have to give him that. Of course, we know that he didn't have. Do I like any New Jack matches? Yeah, right. Probably the most technical wrestler ever. Well, if you watch my video, I actually have like 3 or 4 different New Jack things on my channel. I have a New Jack tribute show that I did with Javier Oist and Dan and Benny in the Ring. We did like a whole hour and a half talk about New Jack. I actually made a New Jack tribute song. It was called, I think, Crack is on Notice. All in a day for New Jack. Look at these matches. I mean, these are just classic battles. Randy Savage versus Tito Santana. That might have been when he won the Intercontinental title. Ric Flair versus Dusty Rhodes. Stan Hansen versus Sergeant Slaughter. Hulk Hogan versus Terry Funk. Lex Luger versus Jesse Barr, who became Jimmy Jack Funk. I mean, little did we know that just Jesse Barr was Terry Funk's nephew. Appreciate the compliments, Noah Joe. A lot of cool wrestling stuff here on the channel. Like I said, tribute show to New Jack. Actually, if you watch my short video, my sit down with Sandman, Yes, the ECW Sandman. You can see that New Jack has a little cameo in that. Now, this was like a whole love story, a love trinity uh, between Tully Blanchard, Baby Doll, and Dusty Rhodes. Good question, buddy. What's my thoughts on the MJF promo? I mean, to me, it's a work shoot. It's fine. It's interesting. Um, it's if you go back and look at some old Tony Khan interviews from 2 or 3 years ago, Tony Khan was a big fan of Brian Pillman, especially the 96, 97 loose cannon era Brian Pillman, shortly before Pillman passed away. And basically, uh, I just think this is their tribute to Pillman. Not a tribute, but just kind of a reboot. Yeah, good point. You know, the wrestlers, it was just a different era. I mean, you're talking about the era of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Carl Weathers, Action Jackson, and Apollo Creed, Mr. T, Dolph Lundgren as, you know, the Punisher and so forth. Just back in the probably I guess the mid '80s to the '90s, you could probably give a lot of credit to Schwarzenegger. Big muscular guys were kind of the thing for a while, and now it's a little bit not as much. You know what I mean? So it just people go in trends, but exactly. Yeah, you got the Booker Man angle, the Brian Pillman, Kevin Sullivan, Eric Bischoff days. I think this was always a good wrestling magazine. Wrestling '86. It was full color, very slick paper. Nice picture of Wyndham. This was, you know, we've all seen this a million times. Flair getting launched off the top rope. But I'm telling you that Wyndham, people don't appreciate how good of a talent Barry Windham is. I think they do understand it, but he was really good. And he even said it. I watched this RF video interview with Barry Windham years ago. And at the end, they said, who do you think was the most overrated wrestler in your era? They asked that to Barry Windham. And Barry Windham said, me, which was interesting. Barry thought he was a little overrated, which was interesting. So, I mean, very humble guy in a sense. Although I thought he did well with the heel angle. Now, this Lance Von Erich stuff, if you don't know the story of Lance Von Erich, you should really look it up because he was a fabricated Von Erich. He was not even a real Von Erich. Just hogwash of a story. Hogwash. I haven't said hogwash in a long time. Yeah, here he is. I was looking for this guy. He's not on the... But I believe the real guy, Ricky Vaughn, has kind of rebooted himself. I think he just wrote a book. I guess I'm putting him over now. I mean, I've written books too. Mine are probably better. But if you go to Amazon, like I said, you can see all the wonderful novels. Fighter Play Basketball. My buddy Michael H. over in Vienna just did an interview with me. It should be published today or tomorrow about my books. Look at these wonderful books. Hardcover. Just so fascinating. Get another compliment for Barry Windham here. Yeah, the team of Windham and Rhodes was actually really good. Like in 91, 92, WCW. It was actually an interesting thing that Barry turned babyface to team with Dustin, and then about a year later turned heel on him. I believe, guess what? I actually saw a Barry Windham versus Dustin Rhodes bunkhouse match, I think in Greensboro. With my buddy Matt Lundak. So wonderful books here by me. They're not too long, not too short. You definitely get your money's worth. One of the elements of this article, this interview I did, the gentleman Michael H. was asking me about my writing style, and I said I like to create visions in the reader's mind using the least amount of words possible. An efficiency. I'm an efficiency writer, gentlemen. I mean, you know, the bigger the images you can create in the mind's eye of the reader, taking up the least amount of words, I think that's effective writing. Kind of like haiku. Well, gentlemen, believe it or not, I actually have a appointment coming up, a phone situation I have to take. I think I've got another minute or two. If there's any final comments, it is a Friday, which is always exciting. We have some big sports going on. The Stanley Cup Finals. I missed Game 1. I feel bad, but I think Game 2 is tonight. Maybe I'll catch that. And then you've got the first wrestling promotion I saw was ECW. Good choice. So you can imagine how I felt when I saw the other promotions. Yeah, they were a big disappointment. Lucha Libre is a big deal here in Mexico, but I was fascinated with American pro wrestling. Yeah, buddy, it's interesting. The Soy, Montana. One of my stories as a screenplay I've written is American Luchador, The Dream of Lobo Fuego, which I haven't converted that to novel form, but maybe that's going to happen this year or next. But yeah, the American Luchador story, you can actually see a little bit of insight into that, into Disregard the Vampire, a Mike Messier documentary. But yeah, lucha wrestling is such a tradition in Mexico. I'm trying to say it properly, but basically, it's part of the cultural fabric more so than wrestling here in the United States. So I give a lot of credit to Mexico. The masks, the six-sided rings, when those are employed, very exciting stuff. El Santo. I purchased a bunch of El Santo movies on DVD. I still have to dig through some of those, but El Santo was just a legend there. And of course, Mil Mascaras, Don Carras. Probably the luchador that most of us in the U.S. are familiar with, of course, is Rey Mysterio Jr. But his uncle, Rey Mysterio, he was actually named after his uncle, not his father. His uncle appeared at Starrcade 1990. I don't know if you knew that, but Rey Mysterio, the original, teamed with gentleman Chris Adams, I believe, no, he teamed with Conan. It was Conan and Rey Mysterio in that tournament at Starrcade 90, the Pat O'Connor tag team tournament. Yeah, it was Conan. It was Conan and Rey Mysterio, and gentleman Chris Adams and Norman Smiley were actually a team in that tournament, believe it or not. And they had some really interesting teams. That's a pay-per-view. I think I watched it again about 2 years ago. There's just more content than there is to life. You know what I mean? People are telling me I've got to catch up on Stranger Things. I've got to watch Yellowstone. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. But I mean, I'm pretty busy in my own right with my own creative endeavors. I don't exactly have time to give all these programs the attention they deserve. But I did watch Cobra Kai season 4 last week. I'm overdue to do a response video. And I've seen the Top Gun movie twice now in the theater. I really enjoyed it. Well, that's it, folks. Gentlemen, I appreciate everyone who chimed in. Noisai, Montana from Mexico. 802, or Mexico, as I like to say. 802 Blues. My buddy Shane Noah, thanks for chiming in, bro. Yeah, we had a fun little opening of the stuff. The Mark Messier cards. Yeah, I do like Conan, and I give him a shout out because Conan, I think, he was having some health issues. I don't know if he still is, but I was there when Conan got pile driven by FTR and Tully Blanchard. That was about a year ago, 8 or 10 months ago, at Daly's place, and I don't know if they ever did a comeuppance for Conan on those guys, but it looked a little stiff. I think I have video of that on either the regular Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube AEW playlist or in the members section, which thanks to the new subscriber here, new member, the Soy Montana, for joining. It's only 99 cents a month. I have a lot of content there that you can't find anywhere else. A lot of AEW stuff. Hey, Laza, good to see you, buddy. Laza just saw Top Gun last night himself, and he said he enjoyed it, which is very cool. I'm glad you went to see it in the theater. Heart transplant, that's rough, man. I'm pulling for Conan if it's a heart transplant. That's not good. That's pretty tough. So I do feel bad for him, or wishing him the best, because I think Bischoff says it pretty well that Conan was really an underestimated part of the New World Order. I think Conrad asked him, Bischoff, who were some of the guys in the New World Order that were underrated, and I think that Bischoff said that 6, X-Pac, Sean Waltman, and Conan. or his answers. I think that was actually a viewer question. Kidney transplant. Okay, well, that's a little bit. Is that better than a heart? I mean, I don't know the inside body too well. I do know that I've got to put some time into doing some more walking and DDP exercise and all that crap. Okay, folks, I've gotten my call. I gotta take this. I gotta go. And gentlemen, have a great weekend. I'll chime in. I'll do the Cobra Kai review. Might go see another movie tonight. But then again, the Stanley Cup, the Celtics, and the Golden State Warriors. So much excitement going on in the world, and sometimes we just have to choose our battles. Okay, gentlemen, have a great weekend. I'll check in later. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing and becoming a new member.